Hi, this is the week of October 5th. The title of the module for this week is Anthropologically Relevant Approaches. By anthropologically relevant, I mean they are approaches which bring qualitative methods to bear on elucidating or clarifying the results of quantitative investigations. These are really mixed method approaches, approaches that apply quantitative and qualitative methodologies to address a single evaluation question. So they're all looking at the same thing. Most of the evaluations that I've done in my career have been mixed method evaluations. The combination of methods has powerful efficacy, powerful influence on evaluators, on clients, because it brings together two kinds of data directed at the same question. If these two kinds of data agree, then they increase the credibility of each other. So if qualitative outcomes and quantitative outcomes are quite similar, then our faith that the findings are pretty accurate is improved. If they don't agree, then we've assured ourselves against leaving something important out of the evaluation. A failure of quantitative data and qualitative data to agree means that something is wrong with the comparison. Either they're addressing different issues, they're addressing those issues in different populations, although sometimes that's okay. The evaluation question is not well enough defined to ask the same question with two different kinds of data collection. There are a lot of things that can happen that would cause qualitative and quantitative results to disagree. All of them imply that you don't know enough about the evaluand yet, and they require you to go back and look again at your data, sometimes put in some more data collection in an attempt to clarify the disagreement. In my experience, those disagreements have always turned out to have an explanation. Usually that the questions being addressed in the two kinds of studies were slightly different. One of them is, why do teachers use the ABC curriculum? And the other one is something like, which parts of the ABC curriculum do teachers use? Those are entirely different questions. To look at what the methodologies consist of, quantitative methods, the one that we think of the most often are surveys, but there are lots more. There are things like social network analysis, econometric analysis. There are kinds of geographic analyses that are quantitative, demographic variations. All of these things are brought together with appropriate analysis techniques to ask how much or where or something is happening in a real world situation. It's important to note that methodology includes not only data collection, but also methods for data analysis. So that in the quantitative methodology bag would be things like statistics, mathematical modeling, which is very popular in some kinds of work, econometric analyses, network analyses, a lot of things that seek to bring together and figure out what a body of quantitative data is saying. Qualitative data, we're pretty familiar with. The first kind of qualitative data that springs to mind is ethnographic ethnography, collecting data from a wide range of people or informants on their perception of what's going on, usually in an attempt to see how they understand the world in which the evaluand is operating. The analysis side of qualitative data includes things like text analysis, the use of things like Nudist and Atlas TI, developing code books for qualitative data, basically anything that leads us to arrange qualitative data in such a way that we can summarize what it is they're saying. Usually mixed method evaluations are conducted by mixed teams because you need a lot of different kinds of expertise to do these. But they're also, I think, the most fun. I probably learn more from my colleagues in mixed method evaluations than I do anywhere else. This section also covers rapid ethnographic assessment and a lot of other kinds of rapid assessment that are often used in evaluation. I've given you an article in this week's articles folder that talks about the various kinds of rapid assessment methods, what each of them does, and summarily what you do to implement each of them. Rapid assessments, whatever they're called and however they're undertaken, have a number of elements in common. One of them is that they're always done in a brief period of time, sometimes as little as a week, sometimes as much as 6 months, but they're much shorter than regular investigations would be. They normally involve a team of people, many of whom are doing exactly the same kind of data collection. If you're doing a rapid ethnographic assessment, for example, you need a number of ethnographers on your team to get this evaluation done correctly. Excuse me. Yeah. The other thing is that in a rapid assessment, data collection and data analysis are iterative. By this I mean that you collect some data, you analyze it, you see where it's leading you and what any contradictions or holes that are in it. You repair your data collection method to look for those holes, to fix the things that aren't working so well. You go out and you collect data again. You come back and you once again do a preliminary analysis, construct what the data are saying, and if necessary, you go out and you correct your protocol and go out and do another set of data collection. This means that the entire inquiry of rapid assessment kind of hones in on the most accurate picture of what's going on in a much more efficient way than is often done in longer studies. There's a lot of writing done on rapid ethnographic assessment. It's something that, in my experience, people are starting to use more and more frequently for evaluations, particularly project evaluations, which are done in international context and in which you often have to develop a lot of information in the field in a remote setting. So there's a real premium on getting this done as effectively and as quickly as possible. So that's where we are today. Next week, I'll talk about ethnographic approaches to evaluation. Thanks. Talk to you soon. Bye.